If you're in the pharmaceutical world, you know this feeling, right? You get those 3 successful validation batches done, the report is filed, and you can finally breathe. But what if that feeling of safety is, well, an illusion? Today, we're going to dig into the full cleaning validation lifecycle, a concept that regulators are absolutely laser-focused on right now. And honestly, it could be the one thing that stands between a smooth audit and a massive compliance headache. You know, this one sentence, and it comes straight from regulators like the FDA and the EMA, it changes everything. That old mindset, treating validation like a one-and-done project you can just check off a list, it's officially dead. What they're demanding now is a living, breathing process that proves your cleaning methods are effective, not just once, but every single batch, year after year.
So we have to ask the tough question. If you aren't actively practicing what's called ongoing process verification, then yeah, the answer might be yes. This is one of the single most common areas for audit observations right now. Why? Because it tells an auditor whether you truly have control over your processes or if you just got lucky on those first 3 runs.
All right, so let's dig into this compliance time bomb. It really all comes down to this massive shift away from that static, check-the-box mentality and moving toward a dynamic, evidence-based approach. So on one hand, you have the old way, set it and forget it. You prove your process works 3 times, you file the report, and you move on. But the modern way, and let's be clear, the required way, is completely different. Those initial 3 batches, they aren't the finish line anymore. Nope, they're just the starting point of this continuous journey of verification. So how do you actually manage this journey? Well, the good news is it's not a mystery. Global regulators have laid out a really clear 3-stage roadmap that helps you build a rock-solid, completely defensible foundation for your entire cleaning program.
Okay, here's the breakdown. Stage 1 is process design. Think of this as all the prep work. You're defining your cleaning process, calculating your acceptance limits, your MACO, and ideally you're using modern, scientific, health-based exposure limits. Then comes Stage 2, process qualification. This is the part everybody knows. Proving your automated CIP or manual COP systems work across 3 successful runs. But Stage 3, that's where the real, long-term work truly begins.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all, ongoing process verification, or OPV. This is Stage 3, and it's all about one thing: providing documented evidence that your process stays in a state of control during routine production. I can't stress this enough. Right now, this is where auditors in both the US and Europe are focusing their absolute toughest questions. So a truly defensible OVV program, it really stands on 3 key pillars. First, you need continuous monitoring of your data. Second, that data has to have absolute integrity, following principles like ALCOA+. And third, you need to be using statistical tools to actually make sense of it all. And this right here is why continuous monitoring is so powerful. Look, you can't just swab once a year and call it good. You have to be asking questions like, are our total organic carbon levels slowly creeping up? Or is our conductivity fluctuating more than it should? Trend monitoring lets you spot these little changes way before they ever become a full-blown deviation. Now, for any of that data to be trustworthy, it has to follow the ALCOA+ principle. This is a massive focus for regulators, especially the MHRA and EMA over in Europe. It means your data has to be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate, plus complete, consistent, enduring, and available. In short, your data needs to be absolutely bulletproof. So the really crucial part is what you do with that data, and that's where statistical tools come into play. By using things like control charts and calculating process capability, like with CPK, you can proactively spot these tiny shifts in your process. It's really the difference between steering the ship and just reacting after you've already hit the iceberg. But why are they so focused on this? What's the big philosophy driving all this regulatory scrutiny? Well, it all comes down to a concept called quality by design. Basically, quality by design means regulators expect you to deeply understand your process and all the little things that can make it vary. We're talking about things like tiny differences in operator technique, or the age of your detergent, or even minor fluctuations in water temperature. Your OPV program is your proof that you not only get these variables, but that you're actively monitoring and controlling them. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds like a lot of extra work. But I really want to shift your perspective here. Because a strong OPV program isn't just another compliance burden, it's a strategic asset that can actually save you a ton of money. Let's be really clear. When an auditor walks through that door and starts asking about cleaning validation, your OPV data is your single best defense. It's the documented, ongoing proof that says we are in a constant state of control. It turns what could be a really difficult conversation into a simple review of the facts.
And here it is. This is the real game changer. Once you've collected enough data to show scientifically that your process is stable, consistent, and totally under control, you can then build a justification to reduce your testing frequency. This isn't about cutting corners. It's about making smart, data-driven decisions that can save your site thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars in testing costs every single year.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about for your own facility. When it comes to setting those critical cleaning limits, way back in stage 1, what is your site using? Are you using the modern, risk-based, health-based exposure limits? Or are you still relying on older, more arbitrary methods, like the 1/1000th dose rule? It's a really important question, and the answer speaks volumes about where your program really stands today.